Welcome to The Apprentice, You're Fired. It's week 4 in Lord Sugar's search for his new business partner, and we're here to rake over the leaves of tonight's task and meet the one who's sold short. This week was all about taking something old and well-worn and giving it a new and unexpected twist, like this.
There is a well-known expression, don't look a gift horse in the eye.
A well-known expression, because if you're looking it in the eye, how can you look it in the mouth? That's obviously what you mean. As ever, we have an insightful panel in the form of Lord Sugar's aide, Nick Hewer, interior design guru, Kelly Hoppin, and comedian Sean Locke. Welcome to You're Fired. Turning second-hand junk into must-have gems left one candidate on the shelf.
Jane, you've been in the losing team 3 times out of 4 weeks, and nothing I have seen yet tells me that you are this great business person. So on that basis, Jane, you're fired.
Okay, thank you anyway.
Please welcome Jane McAvoy. How are you? Good to have you here, Jane. I didn't see that coming, and judging by your reaction, the taxi at the time, neither did you. You were quite shocked by it?
No, I wasn't. I actually did see it coming from the boardroom. I did see he wanted to bring me back in. It was kind of mixed emotions. I wanted to go home, and I wanted to win, and it was a mixture of everything, and it just... I think when I was fired then, I got into the taxi and I was just like... So...
OK, well, we can unpick a lot of that, actually, over the course of this. But let's take a look at what went wrong.
Jane, you're the businesswoman here, and you sold 10 quid's worth of stuff.
I did find, Jane, that your sales technique went between a bit desperate and a bit aggressive.
It's not a hugely easy sale. We're literally only here for today. Really funky stuff. Look. You have to be quite pushy and really try to convince them. What about a chair?
No.
Are you sure?
Jane, you and your husband have a very substantial business. It's very, very good. So, some of your colleagues in the house may be in awe of you. They might feel that about you. I don't, because I ain't seen anything.
Do you think that your desperate sales technique, as it was described by Karen, was because you were selling shite? That's a large part of it. That wicker chair with stuff just painted onto it, that wasn't... No one was buying that.
I don't know, I'm really funny. I actually can't sell something that I'm not passionate about. So I'm not, you know...
And you telling me that the stuff that was taken from skips and dead people's houses, that you couldn't get behind that?
I actually felt guilty. I really did. I was kind of going, I'm looking for money from people for this. But anyway, yeah, no, So I actually spent the majority of the day out in the street trying to get people in.
But it's an easy rod with which to beat somebody, that's your £10 sales. Was that a lot like a tactical flaw for you to give your opponents that kind of...
Yeah, it probably was. But I have to say, I didn't actually go into the show with any particular tactic, which might sound really stupid, but I just said, look, I'll be me, and he'll either like me or he won't, and he didn't, but... I thought that the PR of the actual project was really important. I thought it was really important to get the people in, because if we didn't get them into the shop, then they weren't going to sell the product. And when I did go out, I did actually get the people in, and a lot of people in, and then they were coming out saying it was crap, so...
Nick, how do you think Jane did this?
I think 2 things sunk her. The sales, we'll talk about that later on, OK? But Karen carries a fair amount of weight. I mean, not literally, obviously, but her opinion... her opinions carry a lot of weight. And you will remember, in that boardroom, she said, I haven't seen a great deal about Jane right through. And he picked it up. She lit a fuse, it blew up at the perfect time, not sadly for you.
Kelly, what did you think of Jane on this task?
I mean, I think that, you know, you didn't come across like you were selling a great deal. And I get what you're saying, that it's important to be passionate about what you are selling. But I think when you go into a show like this, you have to be slightly diverse and be able to do a lot of different things. And I think that all you girls were just at each other's throats the whole time, whereas I think if you'd had more passion just about going out there and doing the deed that you had to do, you would have actually achieved a lot more.
Sean?
Well, I thought the sales technique was totally wrong for the area because it was a bit like what you'd expect outside a paella restaurant on a Mediterranean resort, wasn't it? Like, come in, just try it. And that doesn't really work in this sort of trendy heart of the East End. But I also think you suffer as a salesperson from a lack of facial expressions. You've sort of got... And it stays there for about 15 minutes.
What emotions were... Like, I mean, do you want to see fear, anger,
Mystery.
regret?
Mystery.
Intrigue. It's gone.
Possibilities. That's just one. I've got 11 possibilities. No, I just thought, obviously, it was a bit... You were sort of desperate to get people in, and that doesn't really work in that part of London. No. I think the best sales technique there, at that point, because it was a load of rubbish, was just say to people, look, 20 quid, you could smash the lot up. And I think that's a business that would work.
There was... I mean, because you know your business, right? And you have a very successful... You have, like, a massive 15,000 square foot factory.
Yeah.
But it's business to business you sell, not business to... hipsters in bicycle shorts and baseball
Yeah, that
caps.
was very... I suppose if you can take that as my comfort zone, you had me way over here. So, yeah. No, it was, but, you know, that's not an excuse. I suppose what we do in our business, we manufacture own brand products, so it's own brand food, and I'm really passionate about that. I'm really proud of our products. I'm really proud of it on the shelf, and I suppose... I think we can sell that because we love it. And, yeah, I might be the best salesperson of jugs, but I can sell that.
You were fired this week, but there were others who came... Well, one person in particular who had quite a close call.
Laura, did you get the plot?
I have been successful in everything I have ever done, period.
You weren't successful this week, was you?
And there's 100 mates.
19 plus frames.
We bought a hell of a lot of stuff, haven't we?
Do you know that your team had 200 plus items? You bought a lot of stuff and the shop looked like a tip.
Some of this stuff I can't imagine buying personally.
Laura, I don't think you did get the plot. You didn't run the team very well in this task.
I will say this about Laura, though. For someone who came so close, she wasn't burdened with self-doubt in the boardroom.
Who was good at selling? Who was, like, got in the mood?
I was quite impressed with myself, to be honest with you.
Kelly, were you as impressed with Laura as Laura was impressed with Laura?
No, not really. I mean, she irritated me, to be honest. I found her just digging at people the whole time, and I think that she spoke a lot but didn't put the Wally behind it, if you like, and that annoyed me.
Sean, were you impressed with Laura?
No, not largely, no. I think she's just waiting for the bridal challenge. I think when that comes in, the wedding dress shop challenge, she's going to clean up.
Nick?
I think she was lucky to get away with it, to be honest with you. I mean, no control over the budget, cram all that rubbish into the shop, throw leaves around. I mean, it was a bit of a muck, quite frankly.
Arty.
So, yeah, no, I was not impressed with her.
How did you find Laura to work with as a team manager?
Well, I personally, I really like Laura. Yeah, I would agree with what Kelly was saying. There was a lot of kind of, yeah, come on, you know, we'll get going or whatever, but there wasn't actually a kind of a strict strategy. There wasn't, right, OK, I want you to do this, you to do that. So from that point of view, you know, she didn't, I suppose, she wasn't great, but she's a lovely girl.
OK, well, some of the girls were given the chance to spend in the middle of the task and went crazy with it.
To be clear, when you had the list, you were a bit like kids in a sweet shop.
So we need cushions, we need fabric, we need candles.
2 metres in the stripe fabric. Can I have 2 metres
Actually,
in...
no, get 4 metres there.
Can I have 4 metres in the orange suede? 2 packs of the casters.
No, 8. 12 of these and 2 of these.
£4 each.
We've got loads of money.
Yeah,
left.
come on, guys.
The doorknobs at £4 each.
Clearly, you spent more money. That's it, really.
Now, one thing, of course, is even if they hadn't spent any of this money, they still would have lost the task. Right? So it's not just purely because of this, but it was part of a general trend that they were spending and spending and spending.
Yeah, no, completely. And they just, you know, she was saying 2 metres, no, make it 6. And it was just adding up in her mind. But I mean, I love the passion that she had. I mean, that came through. But at the end of the day, they should have gone out and bought pieces that were vintage rather than trying to change them into the sort of shabby chic look.
Yeah, what do all of these words mean?
No. Shabby chic is quite cool. I'd like to say when it's done well, but it's and so are flags and the Union Jack and all of that. But it just they were rushing. They had to get so much done because they were sanding and painting and upholstering and doing all of this stuff, whereas the others just kind of laid out all this vintage stuff, and that's what Brick Lane's about. People go there to buy that old telephone that doesn't work. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I live around there. Well, I thought before you do upholstery, I thought you had to go on a course. Not by a stapler. I thought you do 6 weeks or something, but it turns out you can just start going bang, bang, bang. But the Union Jack thing, I thought was funny when they said they were questioning, some of the team were questioning the Union Jack. They're saying, is this right? Is this in? I was thinking, well, the Union Jack is always in until we get invaded. And then it's very much out.
Look at the idea that you and your flat have a load of Chinese flags, just waiting till China eventually comes in, and then you'll open a shop, a pop-up shop.
I've got a tattoo.
But I think there's a different way in the Union Jack as to be done for this, and the Union Jack like they did on the bears they sold in the South Bank, which is clearly a tourist tat. I mean, I think it is supposed to be ironic or supposed to be an appropriation of it, like it's supposed to be a design
thing. It's cool,
thing.
though. The Union Jack thing is cool, but, you know, it just wasn't... I just think they wasted time and money, and I think the other team showed the right way it should have been done.
Does it add value or does it take value away?
I think it takes the value away because people want the vintage look to make it eclectic, to say, oh, where did you get that? Oh, I got it at, Brick Lane, and it's old and it's cool. Whereas they're then ripping everything off, and a lot of what they bought was tat. And they shouldn't have bought it. They should have had less and then made it look cooler like the other team.
I thought that's where the problem really lay. It was more that what we bought was absolute rubbish.
In terms of vintage or retro or shabby chic or any of these terms that were bandied around as if they knew anything. Upcycling is another one of these. Which of those do you think this falls into exactly? Please, Kelly, educate me in the ways of design, right? Because I know this is probably vintage, but I'm not sure if this is retro or possibly shabby chic.
Do you know what? This looks like it's about to walk off.
This is...
Bed dogs and broomsticks.
It's the kind of thing you'd have a nightmare about. Dun, dun, dun,
actually scare a child if you put that in the room.
Did you sell any of them? Did you sell one of these?
Do you know what? Actually, a lady came up to me and she wanted a suitcase and was going to give me £20 for it, but she wanted the legs off.
There you go.
Did you have to the legs for nothing?
I think the legs come off quite easily. I think you just have fly lands on it, the legs just go...
I mean, is that? I mean, there was something about that, like it was as a crazy arch table kind of.
I think we're just. The only thing about it is we're talking about it. I think in terms of style, it's pretty awful. It just looks like a woman's legs open, doesn't it? It does.
A four-legged woman. You know any four-legged women?
Weird,
I know what I meant.
The Exorcist. Running on all fours.
I'm worried it's gonna start a trend and people are just gonna start sticking wheels on stuff, wrapping a flask to a banjo and going, there you go. What do you make of that?
If you own a cheap design material, though, it helps if you find something that literally grows on trees.
Leaves seem to be a trend in windows that I've noticed recently. If we can find a big tree which has got some leaf blowing off, we can actually collect some leaves. Hyde Park has got leaves.
Pretty leaves. No shit. No, just a nice leaf on top.
Some nice leaves over here.
Just a nice leaf.
Twigs? Yes.
Twigs.
Mum, we've only got half an hour.
Oh, okay, quick.
They think having dead leaves all over the shop floor is artistic. To me, it just looks dirty.
What did it look like when you... I heard there was a load of dead leaves on the floor.
And the customers said it looked quite arty when they came in. They liked the leaves on the floor.
Well, if you want to buy the leaves, you can, but you can get them for free outside.
Like an Oxfam shop in the middle of a hurricane.
Yeah, look, you have a bag there, Kelly. I just want to see how you and I, in a design frenzy, just to create the atmosphere of this.